great example of what? A great
Yeah.
example in our marriage for young people? Like an example of like overcoming something difficult or having a hard conversation, maybe? Or just like
I think for
just a tip
just
in
a
general.
tip for young people. Are you thinking about getting married, Cyrus? Is that what you're thinking? Well,
Kim says hi.
Hi, Kim. I think Kim has more advice on this than we do.
I know. Kim, drop it in the chat. What's your advice for young people about marriage?
I would say marriage is not about happiness.
I think that's great.
You will become happy as part of marriage, but it's not the focus. If you're getting married for happiness, watch out.
Oh, watch out.
Watch out.
That's a good tip. I agree with that. In
Because-
fact, expect to suffer is what I would say. It's just the way that it is. I would say
I would say there's joy to be had in marriage. It does have great times, but the good times don't last.
we don't have to be like that downer about it.
Maybe that's the
Spot
first
like
thing.
this.
Maybe I should give you the advice. Get off the video games.
No, well, your wife is going to say that to you, so you may as well hear it from us first. I think that that's a good answer. I'm going to take my turn with this.
So married to be sad, he says.
I'm going to take my turn with this.
Okay.
May I?
You may.
You've been going and going and going and
Sorry,
interrupting, and this is one of those things that we talk about. Can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read. Kim says, marriage isn't about what you can get, but what you can give. Leave the desire.
Love.
Nope. Love is the desire to have. It's so tiny. Oh, love is the desire to have the best for the other. I love that. I think that's a really good answer. Kim, drop the wisdom, Kimberly. I love it. It's true. I agree. I think that here's my answer. My answer is similar to you.
But look at Cyrus. So married to be sad.
So married to be sad? Kinda. No, it's not.
No.
I think that you obviously, here's the thing. You obviously marry a person that you're really excited about, that you love, that you find enjoyable, that you laugh with, all the good things. But you cannot marry for those reasons. And this is what's hardest for people to grasp sometimes in marriage and premarital counseling. You need to be ready to marry the parent of your future children. You need to be ready to marry the sick version of this person, the aging version of this person, the one who needs surgeries, hospital visits, the one who is a sinner, who has a lot of things that they have not worked on, because so much of who we are does not come to light until you are married, because this is your first time where your marriage is so unique. It's not like roommates where you live with somebody and they point out things. You learn a lot from having roommates that are not your family. When you live with someone who's not your family and they are choosing, marriage is so unique. They choose to be with you and be your partner. And there's so many things about yourself that you come to realize where you're like, oh man, like I have things I need to work on. And this person has things they need to work on. And here's where I'll land it. The reason that I knew I wanted to marry you, Jeremiah, is because you were a person who was willing to work on himself. And you were a person who was willing to admit his own wrongs and admit your faults. And if you're willing to do that, it almost doesn't matter how many faults you have.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't matter how deep that goes, because I know that Jesus is going to have an impact on your heart, and that I have the freedom and the ability and the honor and the privilege to point out, here's how you could be more Christ-like, and you will receive it. And if you are not with a person who's willing to receive that from you, it straight up is not going to work out.
It's hard. It's hard when you're with a person that's you're just like grinding against each other, right?
Mm.
You're not getting through to them.
Mm-hmm.
You're like hitting a stone wall, and
Uh-huh.
having the ability to speak to someone and them to receive it.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, that's not me. That's not, I think that is Jesus softening my, not, I
Mhm.
know it's Jesus softening my heart.
Yeah.
To receive criticism, to receive rebuking, to receive those things from you. It ultimately has to be Jesus. And I
Mhm.
think that's where you need to start in a marriage, is Jesus. I want to encourage everyone, because when you start to live a life for someone else, we can see that example, and we see it done well through his life. And we see that when you lay down your life for your spouse and you give up everything for them, ultimately you find life, you find fruit, you find joy. You have and it's not that you find it, it's kind of just, it's a natural outcome, was it producing of the fruit.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I think that's what makes marriage so great. Marriage is not, don't marry to be sad, okay? It's not that. But you have to marry knowing that you're not getting married in order to find your eternal joy in this person, because you
Yeah.
won't. And like, you will be failed. You will fail them, and you will be failed. And it's about how do we respond in those situations as life partners.
Mhm. Again, that key word right there: partners, partners, partners.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
So that's what we got.
Man, we had some interaction today.
Man,
I love it.
love it. Love
keep,
it.
Keep dropping your questions in the chat. We love interacting with you. That's partly why we go live, is so that you can get more unscripted from us.
Unscripted.
Unscripted.
Oh, unscripted.
Unscripted
we're
for
unscripted.
because we're unscripted. So we're gonna give you our, not maybe the best advice, but you're gonna get some good advice. I'd say decent advice.
You're gonna get the advice that worked for some Trujillos. Okay.
Yeah, if a Trujillo can get through it, you can get through it. Shout out to my siblings.
And man, and to the slow osmosis of me becoming a Trujillo, no matter how much I resist it and fight it.
And that is true. Am I becoming more like you at all, though?
God, I hope so.
I think I'm more blunt because of you.
You know what? I think that you've worked a lot harder on your enunciation and how you speak, slowing down,
My
saying
grammar has greatly improved. You should have saw the text messages I
saying
sent her.
less words, with more impact. That's a big one for you. Is like not to just continue to try to over explain and then it's confusing. Just to simplify what you're saying. I feel like I've tried to teach you in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've done that well. And yeah, I'd say that we become like each other in a lot of ways, or at
Yeah.
least like accommodate each other.
We accommodate each other.
Yeah.
As you should. As a good partner, you're going to
Mhm.
be pushing each other's boundaries to become greater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
We
Yes.
just dropped some quotes. We're going to drop some quote bombs right now.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
The greatest thing is to be loved.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn
Is to be loved.
is just to love and be
And be
loved
loved
in
in
return.
return.
And
Yeah.
also, I just really believe that like the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's green where you water it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, like, if you should just treat other people the way that you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Love
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
All you need is love.
And also, love is a battlefield. And
Telling me.
it went from inspirational quotes to song lyrics really fast.
Yeah. Your body's a wonderland.
Stop. We're not going. Don't go into those kinds of songs.
That's part of marriage too, Cyrus.
God bless them.
God
Okay,
bless you.
here we go. Let's land this darn thing.
This is the plane.
Let's land
Everyone,
the plane.
this is the plane. This is the plane. And we're going to go. Whee.
Let's land it. Let's land it nice and smooth. All right. And
I like going into your frame.
oh, you're welcome in my frame. You're welcome in my frame anytime. Like anytime. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
You're such a beautiful woman. All right, we'll land it. Thank you guys for watching.
Enjoy. Thank you for enjoying with us on this wild journey that probably should not have been live or posted, but
We're
here we are.
unscripted. We're truly living up to unscripted.
This is the unscripted
This is-
podcast. So unscripted family.
This has been the most unscripted episode.
Like, yeah. And
But we're getting a flow for it.
deteriorating quickly as we speak.
We're getting a flow for it.
All right. Everybody's done. People
Okay.
already scrolled away.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.